Hello everyone, a Ninja here. So, as many of you know, I used to play a game called SCP Secret Lab. Like, a lot. I mean, like, you know, just over 400 hours of it. So, what happened and why did I stop playing it? Well, let's find out. Strap yourselves in, boys. This is gonna be a long video. So first of all, I have to mention right now that I love this game and I want it to succeed absolutely in every way possible. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to tell the story of why I stopped playing it and maybe what will bring me back to playing it. There are just several problems in the game that stacked on top of one another to eventually hit a tipping point that just made the bad outweigh the good in the game. And just a bit of background on me real quick. I've actually studied for over 6 years in the field of software development, specifically game design. I've even taken college classes on the good and bad game design habits of game developers and even the psychology of the player, why certain games succeeded targeting certain audiences while others tried to hit all of the player base and their game ended up failing because it just didn't target the psychology of a certain gaming group. Though I've not officially released any games yet, I am currently working with a group on one. You can ask me about the details when I'm live on Twitch or in the Discord. Just go to twitch.tv/ninja and smack that follow button so you know when we're live. Links in the description below. Okay, shameless advertising done. Back to why I quit SCP Secret Lab and enough of filling the time for the YouTube algorithm. You'll rue the day, YouTube algorithm! So let's go ahead and get the tipping point out of the way. The nail in the coffin that finally made me quit. The reason, the big tipper, the one that just absolutely was the final straw. I couldn't take it anymore. SCP-079. The computer SCP for those of you who don't know the SCP numbers. So, if you're new to the game or you just didn't know, SCP-079 was actually previously removed from the game, reworked, and then released to the current SCP we know today. Why was 079 removed previously, you might be wondering? It kind of comes down to one simple reason. He was extremely boring. At least that's the major complaint. I mean, there's also other problems like his UI being awful, hideous. Go look up videos of his old UI. It was terrible. He lacked a lot of polish that he currently has right now, but that still wasn't the biggest reason. The major reason people wanted him removed was because he was just boring. Good UI or not. But what exactly made him so boring to warrant his removal? My proposal as a game design analyst is that it boils down to just about one simple condition. You have no true power in your ability to kill people. What do I mean by this? Let me elaborate. Originally, all you could do with 079 without the help of other SCPs was wait by a Tesla gate and hope that someone passed by so you could zap them. Today as 079, all you can do to kill people is wait by a Tesla gate and hope that somebody... I think you get the point. Your ability to do anything fun relies on the actions of other people, not your own. Don't worry, we're looping this back to the whole true power to kill thing. The fun you get by playing as an SCP mostly comes or derives from your ability to kill other players. I mean, the SCP's literal goal, their win condition, is to kill everyone, except the Chaos. They're kind of a wild card. So clearly, the fun of the SCP correlates with their ability to kill, because that's your win condition. And so the concept of fun to your win condition correlates with how you get to the win condition. And obviously, this isn't going to be the case for everyone, but that's the thing. Those people who play as SCPs to make friends or goof off, or they're on roleplay servers, they're the exception, not the rule, not the majority. If the majority of your player base is a role-playing player base, then, I mean, that's on them. They're there to roleplay, and they're just going to break the rules of your game in the first place. But since your game is designed in a way to have a win condition, the rules of the game, or the gameplay itself, should be fun to reach that goal, that win condition. So back to SCP-079 and why he has no true power to kill anyone. SCP-079 is a support-based SCP. His primary goal is to assist the other SCPs in their quest to kill everyone, which he does very well. He has the power to lock doors. He can close 106's door back, which is amazing for 106 players. He can open up 914, which stops people from stalling. He can stop people from hiding behind locked doors that the SCPs normally couldn't get to and get those guys in there to kill stallers. Like, it's great. He does a great job of all of it. But this creates a massive issue with him just being a support SCP. In the history of literally every game ever, like since video games, RPGs, since the classification of support ever existed, everyone's always wanted and needed the support role because it is just that valuable, but nobody has ever really wanted to be the support. And yes, there are always exceptions to the rule. There are people who still enjoy the support, but in the majority, which the game designer has to highly take into account, you don't cater to the minority, you cater to the majority. People find the support role boring. It's not fun. They don't get to do the same fun actions that the others are doing, normally correlating to killing, but there are some other variances, and it's not fun. Even if you like play games like League of Legends, I used to play League like crazy. Back when the game was actually still kind of fun. They really killed it off for me, but that's a video for another time. I might make a why I quit League of Legends too. In games like League of Legends, I used to play the support role, but I would never just be the normal support everyone wanted you to be. I always picked the supports. If you know anything about the game, like Viger, or back when with old Tristana, I would play AP Tristana support. I would do supports that had the power to kill, not supports that had the power to stop your ADC from being killed. I didn't like that playstyle. I didn't like protecting them. I liked killing the others so they couldn't kill him. Does that make sense? It was way more fun than having to be the defensive support who didn't do much. Anyways, back to SCP. You see, SCP-079 as a support stops this deeply rooted problem in SCP Secret Labs history that's been around for a long time. There's this problem where people will get like an 05 keycard and they'll lock themselves behind a door that only an 05 keycard can open and close. Like, used to be 079's door. I don't know if that's still the case, but nobody could get into that door, so if the MTF spawned, they would have to go and get an 05 keycard. And since Light Containment Zone decontaminates, they can't go down and get an 05 keycard. So if that person's the only person in the entire game with that keycard, unless a mod shows up and kills them or kicks them, if no mod's there, that person can stay there forever, and the game will literally never end until his team wins. So in this case, the Chaos kill all the MTF and all the SCPs if he's a D-boy, and if he's a nerd, the MTF kill all the Chaos and the D-boys and the SCPs. And as an SCP, that behavior is extremely toxic to deal with. If there's someone behind a door you can't get to, and he stays there until his team eventually wins, you get to sit there forever. You can either just kill yourself to make it take you out of your misery, or you can fight till you die, and I guess, you know, you'll have a high kill count, I suppose, but you're just playing to lose because he's just gonna stay there. Or you pray that a mod shows up. If you're in a good enough server, maybe you can report him to a mod and a mod comes in and kicks him. I don't know. Now, SCP-079 is a very poor but kind of effective cure to this. I couldn't find a real good word for it to describe it, but let me explain. You see, everyone needs the 079 so that they can get to those people who are hiding behind the doors and even save 106 and basically reach all of these points where they would otherwise be blocked from getting to. However, there is just too much RNG involved for it to be considered a true cure to the problem. The first bit is 079 actually has to spawn. If nobody gets rolled the 079 class, then he automatically doesn't exist anymore and the problem is still there. Then on top of that, the player playing 079 has to have a stable connection, not disconnect, have a microphone to be effective, and has to know what they're doing as 079 to be effective. If it's their first time as 079, they're going to be completely useless because they're going to be trying to figure out all the UI that's being flooded into their face. They're not going to know what to do. Because of all of this unreliable layers that show up, he cannot be considered a real cure to this problem. Sure, he helps remove it in certain conditions, but he doesn't effectively remove the issue from the game. There has to be some other way to access these doors for the specifically for the SCPs more than anyone else. The SCPs, all of them, need more ways to get behind locked doors. For instance, make vents that SCP-173 can go into, or let SCP-049 pick up key cards, or let, I don't know, 939 can kind of talk to them to try and get them out. And there have been many cases where I was 939 and told them, hey, you're the last one, you're stalling, and which was against the rules. We could get a mod in here to get you banned. And so they would open the door and let us kill him. But all the other SCPs, I mean, 173, 096, like 096, why can't he break down gates? Let him have to do a lot of damage to it, like hit it several times, and then maybe like punch a little hole in it, maybe. I don't know, something. Anyways, back to 079. If you or somebody spawns as 079 and are really good with him, they have tens or hundreds of hours trained in 079, you still have to rely on the RNG of your allies working with you. Whether or not they have a stable connection, whether or not they will have a microphone, whether or not, even if they have all of that, if they are willing to work with you, if they're willing to listen to you, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. If you end up alone as SCP-079, which is extremely likely to happen, you're left with nothing to do but open and close doors while you wait for people to detain you. Or, you know, you could wait at a Tesla gate like the old 079 and hope somebody walks by. But again, you have no choice in your ability to kill people because you literally have no power. The only thing you can do is rely on the actions of others to determine your fun. If they don't do what you need them to do, you can't do what you're supposed to do. If the SCPs decide they're not killing anyone, how can you kill people if you still want to kill someone? You can't. You don't get that option. I've been in many games before 079 where I'm like, hey, let's work with the D-boys today. There's a guy on the MTF side that I saw who I want to have suffer. I don't know. Insert bullcrap reason here. And we had an SCP-173 who's like, nah, I'm gonna kill the D-boys. And we're like in heavy containment, so we can't even get there to help get the D-boys out of there before 079 does his thing. And, you know, he kills them. But that was his choice, and sure, you know, I wasn't happy about it, but he was still able to make that choice. If he was 079, his only options were leave the game or just be annoying to everyone. Also, speaking of how 079 gets contained, oh boy, that's actually the worst part, is how 079 gets contained. You have to wait for 5 randomly generated generators to be found in a randomly generated heavy containment area to be overcharged and destroyed. That's a lot of generator. But on top of that, they need to have a weapons manager, which if the D-boys are coming up and they want to take care of 079, they normally won't have a weapons manager. So it's generally only up to the MTF to do it. And every single generator, all 5 of them, the initial time for them to become overcharged and destroyed is 2 minutes. That's the initial time per generator. That means if they only took you out 1 generator at a time, you're looking at a 10-minute minimum downtime. If they hit all 5 at the same time, you're looking at a minimum 2-minute you're dead time range. So if you have nothing else to do and you still have to rely on others to kill yourself even, you can't even like self-detonate of all things. Like, hello? It takes forever to be contained. I've literally been in a game as SCP-079. Actually, the first game as 079 ever, when he was released. First game I got into, I got 079. I got left alone, and I kid you not, more than 10 waves of MTF and Chaos spawned before they finally contained me and killed me. I sat there for, it's like, I think it's somewhere around 2 minutes per spawn, depending on the server you're on. That's a custom setting per server. The server I was on, it's about 1.5 to 2 minutes. I don't remember the exact time they have. So it was at least 20 to 40 minutes before they finally killed me. And what was I doing that whole time? Opening and closing doors to gain experience, to do nothing, because there was nothing I could do. Because I was bored, waiting to die, because I couldn't kill anyone. You see the problem? But this whole thing about relying on people, like, he can be fun if you have people work with you, but the conditions are so reliant on others that it's not good game design. Like, that example I just told you happened to me 3 times in a row on the release of 079. Thus the tipping point. That is what threw me out. I was done. I'm not playing no more. Like, literally every game that I got into as 079 went something like this. Hey guys, I'm 079. I have a map for you. Where would you like to go? Hello? Is anyone there? Hello? Just like, I heard a cough, I think. Or, you know, maybe they would say something at the start, and I'd be like, okay, cool. So then I'd be like, hey guys, do you want to go to 914, or do you want to go to the checkpoint to kill the guards? Okay, cool. All right, I guess I'll just wait for you guys at 914. See you there. I'll open the door for y'all so you guys can do whatever you want to do. Because helping them actually kill people gained you bursts of experience, so I'd be more valuable. And I wanted to actually be able to move, and you kind of need energy to move. It's really annoying. So I'm sitting there at 914 like, okay, people are going to come here. Right? But nobody came. So I, again, just ended up opening and closing doors waiting to be contained. Again! And you remember how long that takes, so. And I think the most annoying thing out of all of this is that there are an infinite amount of quick fixes to make this not be such a problem. I mean, sure, these fixes are on the temporary side. They shouldn't be considered a permanent fix, but it can at least be used to hold over while you maybe work on doing a change to 079 to make him more fun to play as. For instance, we could allow people to vote for what role they want to be at the start of every round. Actually, that has many more benefits than just avoiding being 079. It also allows people to get the role they want more frequently, which means the overall fun of the game increases. If you leave it purely to RNG, then people are going to get the role they want less and less, and there'll be days where they don't get the role they want at all, and then they're not having fun anymore. Especially if they spawn as a facility guard 10 times in a row and they despise being a facility guard, as most people usually do. Number 2, let people blacklist specific SCPs they don't want to be, or even blacklist being SCP in general, period. Not everybody likes being the SCP. Some people play the game to survive. They want to be. I know so many people who we spawn as SCPs and they're like, man, I just wanted to be a D-boy. Like, hello? There are people who want to be the other roles, not just SCP. So allow people to blacklist, if not specific SCPs, at the very least SCP period, because that way we get more room. Now, obviously, if let's say 2 people joined the lobby and both of them had SCP blacklisted, it's gonna have to force one of them to be SCP. So if literally everyone had SCP blacklisted, then sure, you know, you'll have to break that blacklist, and that's just one of those rare short and stick moments. But for the most part, it should be able to keep people from being the SCPs they don't want to be. And number 3, give SCP-079 something, anything he can use to kill people. Let him use gas, let him use hackable turrets, let him use the nuke, I don't know, something, anything. Give him a win condition if his SCPs die. Something he can do, like he escapes to the internet, boom, 079 still wins because he's on the internet. Something, you know? Anything that would rely on the player as SCP-079 and not the actions of others. Just something that I could do based on my actions only that can cause me to either kill people or win. Because that is literally the only reason he is boring. You have to rely on others. Without others, you are useless. And that is not fun or good game design. If fun relies on unreliable instances, then it is terrible game design and will not stay fun. If I tell you, okay, for you to have fun this game, you have to roll a 7 on this 20-sided dice, then that means you're only gonna have fun 1 every 20 rounds, theoretically. But there will be days where you don't roll a 20 for hours. And then there might be a day where you roll 20 10 times in a row. Or 7, I said 7, whatever. You get my point. It's not reliable and it's not fun. Now I could keep going on 079 I could make an hour-long video about me ranting about 079 and what could be done. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stop there because this video is already long enough and I have 2 more major topics to talk about at least. So just one last thing about 079. I want to end on a positive note. I believe 079 is an amazing SCP. I believe that he belongs in this game. I just think that currently he is being poorly executed and he's not adding anything but honestly taking away from the game right now. If you guys just literally make some simple changes to him, or just some simple changes to avoid being him, the quality of the game will go up back to where it was, at least. I don't want to see him removed again. I just want to see you guys doing things to fix him. Okay, finally done. On to the next topic. So now we're down to the other things that started adding on top of each other that eventually led to the 079 tipping point. One of the things that actually really bothered me wasn't actually anything to do with the game, but rather the game devs. So there's multiple examples I can pick from, so I'll just stick with maybe one major example here. Remember the mega patch that was being hyped for a long time? Yeah, me too. I was so hyped about this mega patch. They were promising us tons of new SCPs being added. We heard a lot about new items. We're gonna get SCP items. We're gonna get, you know, new roles. There was a lot of hype behind this mega patch. And they hyped it up to be this really big update that was going to add so much to the game that we wouldn't be able to find all of it or test it all out for like a month easily of game time. Like, that's what they hyped it up to be. And after like several months of them hyping this patch that they clearly only just started really working on, we get the mega patch update. Part 1. Part 1. No, that's not how mega patches work, my dudes. That's how you kill your game, not make it thrive. If you're going to hype up this mega patch and tell people that you're going to do these things, you do not just suddenly say, okay, we've not done an update in a long time to break up the mega patch into small pieces, and then after the first part of the mega patch, make us wait 3 months of radio silence where we hear nothing from you guys, only to get a little bit of news to where we know that you guys are going to release guns with attachments now when people drop. So if you see a gun on the ground, you can see the attachments there too. And then if you wanted any more information, you had to pay money. That's, again, not how you keep your game alive. That's how you kill it. Heavily. Like, honestly, you guys should have 2... That's 4. You should have 2 groups focused in the development of your game. One group that is focused on small polishing updates to your game. So things like adding a blink timer to SCP-079, or adding a stamina bar to all of the human roles, or adding a little bit of animations when the SCPs attack. And then the other group you should have focused on the mega update. Have them make all the big changes, have them get it done, have them polish it, have them test it in the beta, and have it be hyped up properly so when it's time for release, you have an actual mega patch with a bunch of major things that are going to change the game. I would rather wait an entire year, knowing that this is going to be done to its full extent and have it released, than sit here and wait for months of silence and have only a small portion of it released. But I also would rather have small updates over a long course of time, constantly coming out, consistently coming out, that are going to make the game just slightly better here, slightly better there. I mean, if you guys did so much as add a stamina stat and bar to the humanoids, that would change the dynamic of chase scenes like completely. Especially if you added items that people could use to refresh their stamina. Oh, they have this thing that they can drink that gives them full stamina for 10 seconds. So now they can outrun whoever's chasing them. But that's their get out of jail free card, one and done. But if they get in hot pursuit again, they better learn how to hide. Stuff like that. Like, that would change the dynamic of the game drastically. But it's a small update. It's small and insignificant, yet it makes such a big impact. Also, one of the things that I heard that really got on my nerves was, I believe it was Hubert himself saying something along the lines of, like, and this is really dumbed down version here, the SCPs are balanced, get good. Like, boy, your game ain't Dark Souls. Your game is not made to be extremely hard for people to get good. Your game is made as a social game of competition between players. And yes, in any competitive game, you should be expected to get good if you're going to beat other players. However, to assume that your SCPs are balanced and that it's the player's fault that they're not doing good with them is quite ignorant. Like, you can't just tell players to get good. Help them in the game learn how to be good. Like, for instance, I said this earlier, give SCP-079 like a blink timer in the corner, like a little circle that with an eyeball or something that shows when it reaches the end, people are going to blink. And actually, while we're at it, make blink a global timer, so everyone blinks at the same time, always, period, whether or not there is or is not a 173. This also adds to the whole concept of the game, you know, the whole premise in SCP, blinking being important. Everyone, both the players and the SCP-173, will be able to realize that that's important. And 173 will always be able to know when he can move. It doesn't buff 173, but it helps players learn how to play as 173. So they don't have to keep track of so much information. It is what we call a quality of life change. This would make SCP-173 more reliable in terms of code because you wouldn't have to keep checking if people are in range to start blinking or not, and it would make it more consistent for everyone playing to know whether or not exactly when the blink's going to happen, so you know, so more strategy could be made when you're playing the SCP. Small change. Doesn't buff him, doesn't nerf him, but it still balances him. It makes him better to play. So you guys might know the streamer Dog Demon. He plays SCP Secret Lab on stream, and I actually had hopped onto one of his streams. This was after I quit, and he was SCP-939. And he was going to work with the Chaos because the Chaos guns are ridiculous, and he was just going to help them find the D-Boys and help them escape. But two Chaos decided they were going to shoot him. He was at 100% HP, and I kid you not, no more than, 5 seconds of them just shooting him full blast. 2 people shooting him in 1 magazine. They didn't even reload. They killed him. That is extremely underwhelming as an SCP. It is frustrating because you can't necessarily outrun them. You want to kill them, but they can kill you faster than you can catch them. It's bad. You can't just say they're balanced because they're not. And sure, 939s, you're not supposed to just charge at them, but the fact that they can run at the exact same speed as you, you're not outrunning them easily. You're really not. The only mechanic is to close doors on their face, but if there's already doors closed in your path, it's not going to work very well. They're still going to be able to chase you really easily. You know, I can honestly tell that the devs of this game are fairly new to game design. And just to prove that I'm not just saying nonsense and just saying whatever comes to my mind, let me show you this. There is something that is just terrible when it comes to programming and game design that I actually didn't know about in this game at first. So I was playing as a D-Boy one day, and I was down in 914 waiting for people to make their keycards as usual, and the two mods of the server that I was on decided they wanted to mess with me since I was streaming, so they came into tutorial mode. Yeah, that thing where they're invincible and they can just kind of fly around through walls and stuff is funny. But they showed up in 914 in the tutorial form for the memes, and I heard SCP-173 snap someone's neck right out the door. So I said, hey, you should go right out that door and just let 173 keep snapping your neck. I love hearing that sound. It's hilarious. To which he responded, sorry man, I would love to, but I can't. Because if I do, we're gonna crash the server. I'm sorry, what? Apparently, it's going to spawn so many pools of blood from snapping his neck that the server starts to lag and eventually crash. Especially people who have weaker computers, they're not gonna be able to keep up, let alone the server. We're about to get into a little bit of a nerdy topic here, but it's to prove my point. Have the game devs never heard of a basic concept called object pooling? Like, this is a very old and prominent game design choice that's been around forever in games. I mean, look at any old Call of Duty game. If you sit there and shoot a wall a bunch of times and you spawn bullet holes, you'll notice that they stay there, but if you keep shooting, eventually every new hole you make deletes one of the older ones that you made. So basically, what's happening is they spawn a set amount, like let's say 20 bullet holes. Bullet holes are made right at the start of the game. You're in, you have 20 of your own personal bullet holes. So every time you shoot, it's going to take the next one on the list of those 20 bullet holes that they haven't used yet and teleport it to where you shot and made that bullet hole. And when you get to the end of the list, they just go back up to the top and reuse it. So instead of them looking like they're being deleted, they're actually just being moved to the new bullet hole. Now, why is that important? Simply put, inside of programming, whenever you create and destroy an instance, it's an extremely expensive action on the computer. It takes a lot more resources and time to create and delete an object than it does to have them spawn at the start and just move. Moving an object takes less resources than creating a new object. But on top of this, if you have a set amount spawned, you will never have more than that set amount. So the 20 bullet holes, you'll never have more than 20 bullet holes. And why is that important? If you leave infinite amount of spawned bloodstains or bullet holes, if you keep if people, all of them simultaneously decide they're gonna shoot this wall up like crazy, they're going to spawn hundreds and thousands of bullet holes. And for each one of those existing, more and more resources are being used on the hardware to eventually, it'll reach the point where it crashes. I mean, like, if you have 8 gigabytes of RAM and you spawn 9 gigabytes of objects running, that doesn't work. Anyways, I hope I've made my point clear. They're not implementing this most fundamental game design that's been around for ages. So that's one of the many things that have shown me that they're pretty new to game design. Honestly speaking, I really hope the game devs hear me, because I really want to see them start incorporating these good designs in their game. Shoot, if they're using Unity, which I heard they were, I haven't confirmed that yet, so don't take my word on this, but if they're using Unity, there's videos I know exist teaching you how to do object pooling. There's a YouTube channel called Brackies, for instance. He literally has a video that teaches the fundamental concept and how to implement object pooling. He does it in a very good and professional way that's up to standard. I'll put a link in the description below on this video so you guys can just go there. You don't even have to look for it yourself. Like, this little change to all of your little bullet holes and blood stains and stuff being spawned would drastically optimize the efficiency of your game. There would be even less crashes happening due to immense amounts of killing and bodies being spawned. Man, that was a long explanation. All right, nerd talk over, guys. To keep this video shorter now, because I've already gone a very long time, I'm just going to talk about one more major topic that made me quit SCP Secret Lab, and we'll go ahead and close out the video. To put this last major problem in a simple statement, the lack of dynamic gameplay made the game become stale and boring. You know, it's so lacking in dynamic gameplay, assuming you're playing on a normal server, not a roleplay server, one where you're playing to win based on the role you were given, I can probably guess one of the games you've had right now. So one of the games you played, you probably spawned as a Class D personnel, and as everyone else, you rushed to find a key card. If you spawned in the back, you probably didn't find any key cards, everyone else got to them first, and if you spawned at the front and knew what you were doing, you may have found one key card if you were lucky enough, and didn't like run into SCP-173 or a nerd who spawned next to a gun. With that key card that you got, or the key card that your ally D-boy got, you or him, or following him, went to SCP-914, at which point you sat there forever to upgrade your key cards, only to have the SCPs or MTF show up right outside the door, and you have nothing to do but sacrifice people to the cause and die. I probably got that right. I mean, sure, if you're in a roleplay server, or you just like to be that guy who does stupid stuff and you're not trying to win, then obviously you're the exception. But for many others, I'm sure I got it right. You know why? Because the game lacks dynamic choices. So let me break this down for you to make it even easier to understand. There are currently, if I kind of generalize, 4 ways that a Class D personnel can escape light containment. 1, get yourself a strong enough keycard, usually involves using SCP-914. 2, rely on someone else who has a keycard, whether it be Chaos, another D-boy, a nerd, or the MTF if they don't shoot you on sight. 3, wait for decontamination. Or 4, pray that one of the SCPs want to work with you. Those are pretty much the only ways to escape 914. There is the rare chance that you find the, Zone Manager card that lets you open up the checkpoints without having to upgrade it. But even then, you're going in an uphill battle by going up to heavy that early, so it's not really worth it half the time. And out of all of these possible choices that are available to you, the only reliable, consistent, guaranteed way that you will always be able to get out of light containment is decontamination. Which, mind you, is the most boring out of all the options, because normally, after the first 5, maybe 10 minutes of being down there, everyone's gone. You're down there by yourself with nothing to do but wait for decontamination so you can go up to heavy to get back in the action, which is the most boring, terrible game design ever. Also, there are only 2 keycards that spawn that let you access the checkpoint early in the game without having to upgrade it in 914, which basically enforces you to go to 914 if you're just going to do a solo escape. Out of those 2 keycards, one of them is RNG spawned, which means it's not even guaranteed to spawn. And the other one, you need a keycard to get to in the first place. So unless you're a scientist and you didn't find a keycard, you're not getting that keycard and you're not going to get to go up early. So if you're a Class D personnel, you're screwed. And if you do get one of those 2 keycards and get up to heavy containment, guess what? There's only one keycard that can open up the gates and entrance zone to let you escape in the first place. And to get that keycard, you have to have one on you already, and one of the 2 keycards you get to let you escape early can't even open that door. So you have to go and find another keycard in heavy that's strong enough to open it to get you that keycard. And there are facility guards in heavy containment who are probably going to grab that before you, because they don't even spawn with a strong enough keycard to open the gates, which is honestly the dumbest thing ever. Like, where are the keycards that can do nothing but open checkpoints and gates? That should be a thing. Why isn't that keycard a thing? So, yeah, time to start closing this out. SCP-079 was the massive tipping point that just, I couldn't play the game anymore. It killed all the fun for me. The devs, they're putting too much focus on SCP releases and this mega patch, and they're not putting enough focus on the small changes, the small fixes and polishing that really keep us wanting to play more, because we see good changes happening in the game. Small changes that are honestly pretty easy to implement and can be consistently thrown out on even a weekly basis. If we had a patch every month that made small changes to the game, people would stay. They just would. I would stay, assuming they're good patches and not killing the game like the 079 patch. Like, the small updates kept me coming. Like, when they reworked the light containment zone, which, yes, granted, that was a bigger update, sure, but still, that patch didn't have much other than the light containment zone being reworked, and that had me coming for more. I went into a single player game and ran around all of light containment zone and looking at all the new rooms. I went into several games to get different spawns, different seeds, so I can guarantee that I found every single new room and all the new looks that it had. And oh man, I had so much fun doing this. Like, I would do it again. Those small little changes kept the game fresh for me and many other players alike. And it was keeping it fun and entertaining, because then when you came into the new game, you saw everyone going like, wow, oh dude, that changed. And everyone's having fun talking about what changed. So they're not just getting stuck into the mundanity of the lack of dynamics that we talked about earlier. But I want to end this video more on a positive note, if at all possible. I love this game, and I truly want to see it flourish. So game devs, please start changing your focus. Like, to the SCP Secret Lab game devs, if you're watching this, if you're listening, please, I am a big fan of your game, and I want it so badly to flourish, to be a great game, because I have over 400 hours on this game, and I want to be able to stream it again. So please start changing some of your focus. Get a group dedicated to small updates that are going to make the game great. Give us small changes where new key cards are spawning, and the stamina bars and the blink timer and all those little things that could be done in like a month of programming with a small group, or even some of them even like a week. You could have them done. Like, get a dedicated monthly patch update that we can always look forward to. Or every 2 weeks, honestly, would be preferred if possible. But I understand the programming time, especially if you're a smaller group and not, a big company. Those little changes are going to be what gets everyone to want to play your game and keep playing it. That's what's going to keep us coming back for more and more, because we're curious to see what little updates going to change, and also how people will like play your game knowing something's about to change, and so they want to enjoy the current state of the game. It happens in so many games, like League of Legends. I knew people who they knew a champion was about to get reworked, so they played that champion nonstop. Everyone, the play rate of that champion increased drastically because it was the last time they were going to get to play that old version of that champion. So consistent changes, consistent updates are going to make people want to play your game more. It's just proven. And start focusing on the polish. We have had SCPs like 106 and 049 without any animations on them at all. Like, why does 049 not have an attack animation? Why do the zombies have an attack animation before SCP-049 and SCP-106? Obviously, Peanut doesn't have an attack animation. And also, why isn't there any UI indication when you're playing the SCPs to show you that you attacked? Like, 106 is pretty much the only one, other than the zombie who actually has an animation, that you can prove, okay, I have a set time on when I can attack. Why isn't there any kind of animation showing that you are attacking? Give us something to indicate that. Like, these things should be your focus. The polish of your game, those little details make a huge difference. And they're all small and reasonable changes that can be done quickly. Like, it's not like we're asking you to completely build your game from the ground up, brand new. Like, you've got a great game. Start making it better. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I have. Many fellow streamers, like myself, stopped streaming your game, which also means they're taking the people who are viewing and playing your game somewhere else. Every time I hopped on to Secret Lab and started streaming, everyone started hopping onto the server that I was playing on, and the server started filling up. And it didn't just like fill up, they had like 4 rooms on the US of their US servers, and all 4 of them would start to fill up. Now obviously too, when I hopped on, it was getting towards that time where people were getting out of school and stuff too, so it was an increase in time. But I watched the days that I didn't stream during those times, there wasn't much people on. Like, if I just hopped on to play for the lulz, there wasn't anyone on. Every time I streamed it, people came flooding in, and more people would come, and you got a bigger player base. Anyways, I hope the leaving of all of these streamers and players and this video is getting your guys' attention, because we really want this game to be good, and I really want to start seeing some changes happening in the right direction. Like, I really enjoy your game. I really want it to succeed. I'm not lying. This video was about why I quit, but I also put stuff as to what you can do to get me back, as well as the many other streamers who quit playing your game, because you guys just aren't doing the right steps. And I really, truly hope that this reaches you, and that if nothing else, at least some minor changes come from this. Like, if you take some of my ideas, I'm totally fine with that. I want you to. Object pooling, that's not even my idea. That's just good game design. Take the blink timer thing. Start implementing these changes, and your game will start to see increase yet again. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. This video was kind of longer than normal, but hey, tell me what you guys thought. Did I hit the nail on the head, or was I way off point? Let me know in the comments below. I actually really look forward to seeing everybody's opinion on this matter. Also, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra spicy, you can hit that bell notification to know when the next video comes out. I post a new video every week on Sundays. If you want to see even more amazing content, you can always drop by my Twitch channel and smack that follow button, twitch.tv/ninja, link in the description below. With all that being said, a Ninja out! Smoke bomb! Overload beta core. Going dark. Oh gosh!